This is Michael and Sophie from the homies.
No, you have to say it better. Okay, ready? Hello.
This is Michael and Sophie from the homies. I'm not good at talking
You
on
just say
camera.
the homies.
I can't do it. I'm looking on
Just
camera.
say the homies.
Okay.
Alright, let's practice.
I just say the homies.
The homies.
The homies.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, ready? Hello.
This is Michael and Sophie from the homies.
Okay, so let's first talk about all of the different parts that we bought. So let's start off with this. So we got a very small hard drive because we don't actually want to store a lot of our media content on the computer itself, because we might eventually attach like an external hard drive that's much bigger. But it's a solid state, so it means that it will be really fast to boot up the computer. And this is our processor. This is the thing that runs our computer. Okay, it's a Core i3-4150, and it comes with free antivirus protection. That's why we got this one.
It includes AC wireless too.
Okay, so this is our motherboard. It's an H97i. This is basically what all of these other components are going to be plugging into. This is a pretty good motherboard because it supports a lot of different things, and it also has built-in Wi-Fi, which means that it can be online without being plugged in, and it also supports Bluetooth, right? And that which means that eventually probably we can get our devices to stream content onto this machine via Bluetooth. We have our case right now. This is what's going to hold all of our components. Michael will explain what this case is good at. Michael?
This is a mini ITX case, and it's very small, compact. It's only about 3.5 inches thick, so as you can see, it's about the size of an Xbox. This is going to house all of our parts and hopefully be quiet enough so that we also don't notice it running.
Part this bunch of wires that came with the case. So if you look at them, these are a lot of the wow. Okay, so these are a lot of the power supply cables. And all of these different weird looking things go into different devices. One that I know is this one is going to be going into the motherboard, the big one. And then all these other things are to support different like devices, like maybe the Blu-ray drive or hard drive or whatever. We'll figure it out later. So the fan that we got is quieter than the one that comes with the case. So we're gonna just switch it out before we do any other work. The fan out, and this is the old one. And this is the new one that we're gonna put in. After taking them out, it seems like they're the same thing.
This one's quiet. This one's quieter.
But this one might be quieter, so that's what we're gonna hope
It
for.
has better motor control, and the shape of the fins are different.
When we took the fan out, we forgot to pay attention which way it was facing, so now we can't figure out which way to install our new fan. So we're gonna try a few things. Okay, Michael's gonna try to Google it. I'm gonna try to do this. Okay, so this is the fan. Okay. Okay, so when you blow on it, oops, hold on. From one direction it works, but the other direction, it also works. Okay. This doesn't make any sense, but this is the part that faces outwards, and this is what you want to be facing into your computer. So, standards for motherboards. There's the Mini ITX, which is the one that we chose, and then there's also the Micro ATX. So when you're building a computer, it's very important to know which standard you chose, because this case that we bought here left a slot that's exactly this size, which will fit a Mini ITX motherboard perfectly, as you will see. This is our motherboard. we haven't installed anything on it yet, but we wanted to show you what it looks like before we install the stuff. So let's see. So this is the slot for the processor. This is the wireless component, and you can tell this because there's a couple of cables here coming out of it, and so you can follow it, and these go out here, and we're going to be installing the antennas out here later. And this is the chipset. This is a heatsink that dissipates all the heat from the motherboard because the motherboard gets quite hot. Okay, so all along the edge here are also a bunch of different slots to connect things to. And one of the nice things about this motherboard is that it has a lot of different slots. So it's good for expansion for more things that we want to get in the future. So on the right here is our RAM slots. So there's 2 of these. Today we're only going to be installing one of the RAMs, but in the future if we need more RAM we can always add on another one. This down here is the PCI Express slot, and this is for our graphics card. So we are not going to be installing a graphics card today because the motherboard already comes with one, and it's pretty decent. And for just streaming video, the requirements for the graphics is not that high. This is what we're going to be connecting to with one of these big plugs here. In fact, I think this one. And then this one right here is where we're going to be connecting. See, it says USB in there. So that's where we're going to be connecting the USB to. And these are our serial ATA points. These are what most things use to connect to, so things like Blu-ray players, etc. If you learn anything out of this video, it's if you need to upgrade the RAM, please don't pay a store to do it. It is very easy. You just take the thing out of the box. Done. So the next part that we're going to install is the processor. Do you remember where it is? If you said here, you are correct. Okay, so the processor is the most expensive part of the computer, so we want to make sure that we get everything right. You're wondering why the box is so big for such a tiny little chip. It's because these things come with a heatsink. This thing looks seriously scary. But basically this thing helps keep the processor run cool. The heatsink that came with our processor. So the way that it works is that these things, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but these things are all very thin sheets of metal. And metal conducts heat, so it's going to absorb all of the heat that the processor generates. And if you flip this over, you can see that there is a fan here. And the fan takes the heat away from the metal parts and dissipates it away. The CPU is the most expensive and also most delicate part of the system, so when you're installing it, it goes in there. This is probably the step that you want to take most of your time on, and just be very careful with it. So we're opening. Processor is installed, we're going to install this guy on top of it. So you can see the 4 little holes, and it even has the outline for you where the heatsink is supposed to go. And we're going to want to have the metal part facing the processor because that way it can absorb the heat, and the fan is going to be facing away from it. We're going to get to the fun part. We're going to be connecting a bunch of the different components now. So first we're going to connect that big scary thing that we installed earlier. Boom. It's done. Okay, now all of these wires. So this is our hard drive. We've actually already installed it into this little tray here. So the black part is the actual hard drive, and the blue part is just a tray, which is kind of like an adapter to make it fit in this slot down here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little, I'll just put it in for you to show you. Just slide it right in. I missed. And it rests right on top like that. So before we're going to do that though, we're going to just install the wires because it's going to be easier. So these two things are what we're going to install the wires on. So one of these things is for the actual data transfer, and the other one is for the power. So I think this bigger one is for the power, and this smaller one is for the data transfer. So we're just going to attach the wires before we stick it in. And the wire that we just connected is the main power that gives power to our motherboard. And that right there is the power to the fan. The location of all this stuff is all dependent on the motherboard that you buy, so you should read your user manual. But we are finished building our computer. This is what it looks like. Ta-da! Things are connected all over the place. Our fans are in place to keep everything cool. This looks like a very complex system. And we are about to, okay, we just installed the antennas. I told you guys about this earlier. And we are about to start up the machine. Oh, it looks like a insect with antennas. What do we want to name our machine?
I don't know yet.
How about Wormy? It is Wormy the computer. And we are about to... Done building the computer. We're just going to be plugging it in and starting it up for the first time. There's no operating system installed yet, but hopefully we still get to see something. Okay, let's do this. Wow, look! And this is the result. Boot and select proper boot device and start. Alright, so
Set it up now.
include the video blog of what we are doing today. We're not going to continue and talk about how we're going to install the operating system, but maybe that'll be a blog for the future. Let us know what you thought of this whole process, what we could have done better. So if you like the video, just hit the subscribe button down below. This is my first YouTube ever, so I actually don't know where the subscribe button is going to show up, but it's going to be somewhere down here. So just hit that button, and we will be posting more awesome tutorials in the future. Okay, see you guys soon. I said that we were done with the video tutorial, but we just wanted to show you the built-in kind of operating system that the motherboard has straight out of the box. It's pretty incredible. Yes. Our military class operating system. And it tells the time. This is not actually the time. It's actually like 1 a.m. right now. Got your temperature in, why is it both 41 and, oh, Celsius. Whoa, this is cool. This is telling you the temperature of the CPU right now and the motherboard. Okay, and we've got settings, overclocking settings. Oh, that's one of the other things that was nice about our processor, that it does automatic overclocking. I don't know what that is. So this is really cool. We just clicked on the Board Explorer, and this is kind of what it shows you. This kind of like reminds me of like a Prius dashboard that shows you like the internals of the car. So these things that are outlined in blue are the things that we have, that the system thinks that we have installed properly. So these are all the things that you've seen us install today.